Hi there, I'm Vlad and I'm a photographer, and today I want to talk you through my method of matching the colors of my clothing with the LEDs that I have around of me or in frame for better color consistency. And guess what? This also means that your photos are gonna look way more cinematic because on a filming set, there's always a person who's making sure the colors work well together, unlike what I have going on right now. But that's on purpose, we're gonna fix it. And I'm gonna try and do this as fast as possible because it's the middle of the summer and I'm sweating like a pig inside of this hoodie. But I need the hoodie in order to prove my point. So I'm gonna turn off the RGB lights and just with my white light on, I'm gonna take a screenshot in my case or a photo if I would be on a normal photography set. And I'm gonna bring that inside the Photoshop. And in here, I'm gonna use the color picker to sample some colors of the hoodie. What I'm seeing is hue 40 and I'm playing around to see how much of a deviation there is. And there's not much, so I'm gonna use 40 as my baseline. And with that in mind, let me grab my lamp and adjust its hue with 40 plus 120 point on the hue slider. This means that I'm getting 160 and that's gonna be this greenish color. And I'm going to tone down its saturation just a tiny bit because I don't want the background to be overpowering the subject. And now when I put it back there, you can see that there is some color matching between my hoodie and the background. And if you're asking why 120, how did I land it on that value specifically? Well, color circle, 360 degrees, 360 hues. Let's divide that by 3 and we got 3 points that are equally spaced on the color circle and are 120 degrees apart. And this thing is called a triadic color palette. It creates a vibrant but balanced look and will create a lot of contrast while still maintaining harmony between the three hues that you have in your shot. But there's still this light. And with this one, if I keep the 120 rule to get a triadic, I'm gonna get something like this magenta over here. And that's not really great for a light that's hitting the face. It's gonna create these ugly tones on the skin and it's not the best idea. So instead, I'm gonna match it to my hoodie. And that means hue 40 and I'm gonna keep the exposure that I had before. And you can see there is some synergy in the frame already. But triadic means 3. And that means I have to turn on one more light. So remember I had the tube light around here, that one. Let's set that to the magenta, but I'm gonna set it to a small animation. Right now it's too powerful, and if I have the whole thing set to the magenta tone that my triadic would suggest, you can see that it's affecting the ceiling and the entire room. But if I set it to a small animation, something like what I have going on right now, it's not gonna affect the entire environment, and the room is still gonna be illuminated by the green fill light that I have behind of me. And you can see that all the three colors start to work together really well, even though I can probably balance them out a bit better for better contrast ratio between the background and the subject, and maybe illuminate that corner as well with a bit of green light like what I have going on right here. But today's video is all about color, and keep in mind I'm sweating in this thing, so I'm not gonna put a ton of effort in matching perfectly all the lights. Now, triadic is not the only way to do this, and we can do complementary colors as well. So let's keep in mind 40 for the sweater and switch the lights behind of me to something that would create a ton of contrast because I'm using complementary colors. And that would look something like this. My sweater is hue 40, this light is hue 40 as well, and the background lights are both set to hue 220. That's really the opposite across the circle from the color of the sweater. It's getting a ton of contrast, and I really like how they are interacting, but I don't like how it's interacting with the mist filter that I have on my lens because it's creating this area over here where the colors start to mix. And complementary colors don't really mix well. Let me show you how it looks without the filter on. You see how much better this looks without all the bloominess and the stuff that's on my filter? I like the look of filters and bloomy lights, but keep in mind colors are gonna mix and it's gonna result in nasty complementary mixes because complementary colors don't really mix that well. And there are literally two simple fixes for that. You either don't use a filter that would create the light mixture, or keep your lights separated in the way that one light would hit one side of the face and the other one hit the back of the head or something like that. So they never touch and don't create that banding or that gray area where they create white light. Pretty simple, let's move on. But before we move on, my buddy Jake over here is a great photographer and has an in-depth article about this banding mixing problem that appears when you mix complementary colors. So I'll link it down below, and if you want to learn more, go check it out. Now, let's go to the final tip of the day, and back to me wearing the hoodie. Yeah, it's hot in here, so let's make this quick. Back into Photoshop, and I'm opening my colors, picking from the hoodie, and this time, instead of focusing on the hue, I'm gonna focus on this number right here. This is called a hex code, and it's usually used for web design, but we can just grab that color and paste it inside of a color palette generator, hit generate, and we're gonna get a few color palettes to help us create light setups. On the one that I have on the screen right now, it's a bit annoying because it's gonna give you back hex codes and you have to copy them and go back to Photoshop and input them in the color right here to get a hue for your lights. A bit annoying, but I'm sure there are better color generators that you can find online, and you'll let me know about them in the comments down below. That was it for today. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the buttons, and you can also check out my Lightroom preset store if you want to support the channel. That was it for today, and I'll see you in the next video.